What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad would be T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this. Yo, what's good, everybody? We're so excited about being here with you. Hopefully, this is going to be one of the most amazing shows. Listen, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to do. Let's get into this. Coming from Acts chapter 4. I'm going to do a little bit of reading, but there's a reason why I'm doing so. Acts chapter 4, starting at verse 14, reading this in the Amplified, it says this. And seeing the man who had been healed standing there with them, they had nothing to say or in reply. But after ordering them to step out of the council chambers, they began to confer among themselves, saying, what are we to do with these men? For the fact that an extraordinary miracle has taken place through them in public knowledge and clearly evident to all the residents of Jerusalem, we cannot deny it. But to keep it from spreading further among the people and the nation, let us sternly warn them not to speak again to anyone in this name. So that they sent for them and commanded them not to speak as his respective or teach at all in the name of Jesus, using him as their authority. Dropping down to verse 23, and it says this. After Peter and John were released, they returned to their own people or their company, the King James says, and reported everything that the chief priests and elders had said to them. Now, I said that because the NBA is in a bubble.
Yes, indeed.
They're with their company.
Yes.
They're with their people.
Yes.
And it is like a novel. It's the best of times and it is the worst of times.
Yes.
And I'm noticing it's getting chippy.
Yes.
It's getting real talkative.
Yes.
Jokers that might have been cool with one another ain't no more. Like, Giannis got suspended a game for headbutting. he's like Popeye. That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
He thought he was on the Milwaukee Rams.
I'm like, really?
You ain't on the Rams, you're on the Bucks.
Right, bro. Like, what's that? And so, and then you got the Clippers talking crazy to Dame Dollar, which that dog you should have let sleep.
That dog you should have let sleep.
That joker went off for 51 and 61 just to shut your mouth up.
And 41.
Right. Close it out.
Yeah.
40.
Right.
Yeah.
So you fat mouth, and the people who fat mouthed him, he put them out.
Yes.
He put them out.
Yeah.
So Dame is like, okay. I was kind of figuring out, I needed some motivation. You just gave it to me.
Oh my goodness! Hey, they gave it to him, and he gave it to the other team.
All of it.
And listen, if I was Dame, I would go to them and say, this is Paul George and
Patrick
Beverly's fault.
Yeah. That's who the Lakers ought to go to, because they might bear the brunt of Dame's wrath if they can get past Memphis.
And I think
for the play-in.
Honestly, I don't think Memphis is going to be a problem, because if you looked at Dame, he is locked in. He's locked in. Like, who did they just play the other day to win? Was it Dallas?
Was it OKC? They played Dallas the other day.
They played the Nets.
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 Yeah.
The
Nets. And so check this out. So Dame, they were doubling him. And he still had 41.
Yeah.
They were doing a boxing one on him, and he still had 41.
Yeah.
So he was dishing, almost had a triple-double, but then got to a point where, like, you know what? We need buckets. This cat started pulling up from the logo.
Man. I mean, despite the fact that Phoenix went undefeated in the bubble. Hats off to Devin Booker and Monty Williams. Has done a great job with that young squad. You came on real strong, just a little bit too little, too late, But as far as, great players, there's been some chatter around who the best player in the bubble should be. And Devin Booker definitely has gotten some well-deserved praise. Yeah. I believe, though, given the circumstances that Portland found themselves in, and I'll admit, you two on this panel have been really chirping about, hey, man, watch Portland. They'll be healthy again. And I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. I wasn't feeling Portland. I thought last year's Western Conference Finals berth was a fluke.
Really?
And that, I thought it was a fluke.
Hey, even though Dame was waving bye-bye to people on his way.
But
ain't no lie. Bye.
I'm gonna get to Dame. I'm gonna get to Dame Dollar in just a second. I thought last year's Western Conference Finals berth was a fluke, and this year, despite the injuries, it kind of was an underscore to that because they were, 8th, 9th, 10th place. Almost, was asking, hey, do they even deserve to be invited to the bubble? But the way Dame has been grown manning the entire league, and the team needs every point he's scoring, every game that they've won, for them to have won, for him to put the team on his back like that, he, to me, is the bubble's MVP. And when you catch a player like that is just locked in, as you said, Pastor Skip, just locked in, zoned in, he brings obviously his own productivity to the table. He's averaged 50 points the last 3 games, and that 51, 61, 41 combo, he's been just giving it to him.
150 in 3 games.
In 3 games.
Man.
So that's just one player's productivity, not to mention his assists as well and the rest of the things he's been able to do. But the bigger danger for the other teams is that when you got a player that's given all he has like that, pulling up from half court, getting key steals late in the game, just willing the team to a win, what that does is that inspires everybody else on the squad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so guys that can't really all that play, now they will be playing above their heads because I can't let my teammate leave it all on the court like that and not do something extra.
Yes.
So I think that for L.A., and we had L.A., the Lakers, and the Clippers as our Western Conference Finals. Portland, I don't know, man. Matter of fact, I'm a little concerned for Bron and
they didn't look real good in the bubble.
Man, the bubble, they looked a little janky.
Real good in the bubble.
And if Dame carries this over, I will even venture to say that this might be a first-round upset of one of the favorites to win the title.
Sir.
And they can beat them jokers in less than 7.
Portland
is 6 over the Lakers.
Wait. Is it a TV timeout on Into His Courts?
Oh, my goodness.
Can I get a 20? Can I get a 20? This man
said a 20. Hey,
man
bro.
lost his mind.
It's freaky like that, Doc.
Hey, listen.
It's freaky like that, man.
You know what this bubble atmosphere reminds me of? March Madness.
Yes.
In that you lose a game and you can go home. So Cats is just giving it. And everybody's healthy.
Hey, Giannis told them when they asked him about the asterisk, about the championship in the bubble, he told them straight up, this is going to be the best championship ever because of the circumstances.
Yeah,
right.
The bubble,
the hardest.
I can't wait to watch the bubble playoffs, man.
Hey, man, it's
I can't wait. This is like AAU, March Madness,
right?
NCAA, WIA, everything, Super Bowl, all wrapped up into one. And guess what? Dame Lillard done kicked the door in.
He ain't like Superman. Matter of fact, I'll even also say, now my wife is not necessarily a big basketball fan, not really a sports fan. She's even made known, this is going to be just a shout out to the NBA for having the foresight to do the bubble. I know they kind of see it as almost a pejorative term, but Joker, we ribbing, it's the bubble. But shout out to the NBA because this thing that kind of seemed kind of hokey at first, you're going to be in Disney World, and everybody's going to be quarantined, you're going to test 2 or 3 times a day, blah, 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 to, battle the coronavirus, compared to all the other sports, both professional and college, with major conferences canceling all of their fall sports. NBA, y'all was kind of prophetic in that. And kudos to you all for being able to put in these precautions that you did to not only restart your season, but really have a sustainable type of system that we as fans, my goodness, are super duper appreciative of, because it's been some of the best basketball in professional sports we've seen.
And you haven't heard one complaint about the fans not being there, because the aesthetics on it and viewing it from home is outstanding.
Exactly.
They put cameras in great
The
position.
sound and everything is really, really good.
The virtual piece, I thought there was going to be a quantifiable, measurable drop-off in the fan viewing experience.
Yes.
I did. But to
Yes.
your point, Will, it hasn't. I haven't felt like this is low-budget NBA. What is this?
And
It's
This is
been...
NBA light.
Dude, and I'm gonna tell you what the NBA, the other thing that you got to give kudos to the NBA for. They didn't just do it with the NBA; they did it with the WNBA. So now I'm watching WNBA games and NBA games every night. So now I'm starting to get familiar with the WNBA ladies.
Wow.
And I'm starting to know who on what team and what moves they make and who can shoot. And I'm sitting there, can't wait to see WNBA games in the bubble.
Right.
It's exciting. The NBA got it right.
They really
got
did.
it right.
Really did.
Let me ask you guys this question. Up until now, do you consider David Stern to be the best NBA commissioner in the history of the NBA?
Yes.
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 Do you feel like Adam Silvers. Yeah.
Adam Silvers.
Adam Silvers, because of his situation, is either on the same page or surpassed him?
I don't know. I wouldn't say surpassed him, because David Stern brought so many just innovations to the game, and he had the longevity. I will say that as far as notable commissioners, it will take David Stern to beat Adam Silver in this. I think that with this, he definitely gets major kudos, maybe, Innovator of the Year award, some sort of special recognition for what was done in this disruptive coronavirus global pandemic field year, where a number of high-ticket entertainment venues were just canceled altogether, from music festivals like Summerfest, the big gig, largest music festival in the world, plug in Milwaukee, Coachella, Lollapalooza, the State Fair, etc. All of college, NCAA, fall sports, March
Madness,
all of that kind of stuff. So he definitely gets major love and kudos for that. And that, I don't know that one thing, though, outweighs the laundry list of things that David Stern did, despite it being a global pandemic.
Now, we're saying that one thing because that's the thing that's the latest that's on our mind. But look how well Adam Silvers handled the Clippers owner situation.
Right.
That was, when he walked into that.
Gotcha.
And he handled that with such class, professionalism, dignity. And he did such a great job. But I think the difference between David Stern and Adam Silver as commissioners is that with Adam Silvers, there's more of a partnership between the players' union and ownership. And it was more adversity between those two when David Stern was the commissioner. And now they work together in partnership. They decide on what's going to be best for both teams. Even the profit sharing is at 50-50. You know, all of those things are huge things that Adam Silver was able to have the good fortune that the league had evolved to that point. Right. And when David Stern was doing it, it wasn't like that. It was owners against the players, and it was a money grab. So he had to be in a much more contentious type situation than Adam Silver. And that's not to take away for anything that he's done, because he's done an outstanding job. Yeah. But definitely, it's a different time and a different environment.
Right,
And to add to that, I think what also gives him another star in his crown is dealing with this racial polarity.
Major.
How he's handled it and how he's allowed the players to have a voice. And feel like I could still be an NBA player and still fight for equality. That's been, to me, if I can be honest, he's been the MVP.
He He has. And let me
the
just
league.
add on what you're
Hands
saying
down.
to that, Pastor. And for me, and I've thought about this. We talking about this, but I've thought about this. I was so glad that Adam Silver was the commissioner doing this racial equity piece
Right. Yeah.
than David Stern
David
because
wasn't doing
of
it.
the old school and the old relationships and the old idea. I think Adam Silver is more of a progressive now type thinker. And I was glad because he did allow this as a leader, as a representative of the owners and the league. We haven't had any rough spots with
Right,
this. It has been so smooth.
Yeah.
So I think it was a blessing for us to have Adam Silvers at this time. And don't get me wrong, David Stern, great commissioner, love him. Never had the pleasure of meeting him. Have had the pleasure of meeting Adam Silver on a personal basis. And just a whole blessing of having him here during these times. Pandemic, Clippers owner, racial equality has been a blessing.
Yeah, I think it was fortuitous for him, given his personal disposition, to be here at such a time as this, so to speak.
Yes.
I think that the heft of both the global pandemic and the racial reckoning that's taking place were so magnanimous, though, to where you kind of didn't have a choice. We see a number of leaders kind of stepping up to the plate, not to take anything away from what he's doing or giving him credit for doing that, but I think he's aided and abetted by the fact that this is a global demand that's in every country in the world, the four corners of the earth, that's going on now for someone to ride the wave of, hey, I'm doing the right thing, this is the right thing to do. Well, thank you for joining the club. Everybody and their mama doing that. Continue to do it. And I think, but if he keeps this up, in terms of his willingness to be a high-quality guy, having the equality with the players, the equity, the, hey, we're in this together, and it continues to be genuine, I think if it can be sustained, then there can be maybe some reconsideration for his place in the pantheon of all-time great commissioners. Right now, for me, it's still a moment in time.
Yeah. I think the other feather we have to put in his hat is also how he dealt with the whole China situation.
Yes. Yes.
Because that could have gotten real ugly. Because remember, China was like, well, y'all, we don't even need y'all coming. And if y'all come, because, we got so many tickets, so we are not televising.
Right.
Yeah, but I think even but the business acumen of David Stern, I don't know that.
We wouldn't be in China without David Stern.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that I give him an edge over David Stern with that. David Stern just like we over there because of him. So that kind of business moxie, it's a wash.
So what are you saying? It's more like a Jordan Kobe type situation, 1A, 1B, And again, not taking anything.
Now I say one. I don't know if I put Kobe on the level of Jordan, but to your point, I think Adam Silver is, he is the bomb.
He is.
I'm not taking anything away from him.
He is.
I'm just saying that the body of work that his predecessor had prior to his death, may he rest in peace, was such that you ain't finna take over that Joker spot, not to me yet, because of his the longevity that he had and innovation. This kind of stuff that Adam Silver is doing, David Stern made a career of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Every innovation we got just about in the NBA was under his watch.
Right.
So I'm giving him props
It's
for that.
interesting that we talk about this because you guys know how much I love basketball. I know how much y'all love basketball.
Right.
I have one basketball in my house that's in a glass case. And that basketball has Adam Silver's and David Stern's signature on it.
Look at this
That's
cat.
the only ball I have that's in the case, that ball with both of their signatures on it, because those were the two signatures during my lifetime, and I got the opportunity to get that. I'm bragging a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying.
Name dropping.
Yeah, but it's a whole lot of people who I could have had signature on a basketball, at the risk of sounding vain. But it just meant something to me to have those two.
Yeah.
Because of what they have done with basketball and what basketball has done to urban areas across the United States.
For sure.
Yeah, they are definitely impactors.
Oh my goodness.
And they've changed so many urban lives.
Yes.
And not just urban in America, but urban around the world.
Around the world.
I mean, we would have never seen Chinese players, Spanish players,
Giannis,
Greek players.
the MVP.
Right.
Who's the rookie of the year? Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From foreign, who is the most improved?
Pascal Siakam.
From somewhere else. We wouldn't
Right.
have
From
that.
Skull, from Africa.
Yeah.
For the innovation, the
Right.
creativity, and just the foresight
Yeah, man.
of David Stern.
It-
You know,
it-
they're
go
an
ahead.
amazing team. And wasn't he working with David Stern?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, he
so
was.
David, David knew who he was
He
handing
groomed him.
over to.
Right,
He
right.
groomed
He
him.
groomed him.
Yeah,
exactly.
He knew who he was handing over to. And what I love about what Silver did was he understood, okay, you taught me how to make coffee, but now I'm going, there's some different kind of sugar and creamer I'm going to add to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some different sugar and creamer.
I'm a cappuccino it.
Right. That's going to make it better tasting and more appealing to the
more
younger
people,
crowd
yeah,
and to
yeah.
more people,
Yeah.
to women, to,
Yeah.
Because if you remember,
Yeah.
the NBA tried a women's basketball league years ago.
The Milwaukee Dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now they've understood if we're going to market this right, we got to market them like they're really ball players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not
they
like
are.
the
I've been loving watching them
Yeah.
play,
Not
man.
like
They
they're
ballers.
women. They're just ballers.
Man, they
Period.
balling. man.
I'll say these two things, and I'll just I'll leave it alone. There was a commercial that August Bush of the Anheuser-Busch family had some years ago, and it was talking about Anheuser-Busch beer, and this has got some proving a point in terms of the Bible talks about don't discard or throw away the old landmarks.
Right.
And if you are building something on my shoulders, you ain't starting from scratch.
Right.
You starting from up here.
Right.
Right.
So whatever you're doing, if I'm up here, guess what? I see more because I'm up higher.
Right.
But you gave me the platform. So
Exactly.
August Bush, it said in the corner of the screen, August Bush, it said 5th generation brewer. That means that his grandfather's grandfather started that.
Right.
All I'm saying is that whatever August Bush the 5th has done, you got 4 generations before
Yes.
you
Right.
that got. So when you came out of, I don't care if you went to Harvard,
Right.
Right.
your position was at a company that was in existence when you got there.
Right.
So don't
Right.
talk. We put an extra cap on the beer bottle.
Right.
Joker, hush.
We made the beer bottle.
We made the beer bottle.
We made
you know
the
what I'm
beer
saying?
bottle.
Right.
I was talking to a lady, a Jewish lady, in at a Christians United for Israel event, and I'm state director for Christians United for Israel, just in terms of the comparison. And I was asking, I'm like, well, hey, you're here because some people in the Jewish community just see Jesus as a prophet and
Right.
not necessarily the Savior. That's another conversation, but we were talking. And so she was from California. She was a more seasoned lady, maybe north of 60 or 70 or so. And we're talking, and we got into a conversation, just a conversation. And she was making a point to me, and the point I'm trying to make is to underscore this, is that you got to give love to the, the joker who started it. So she said, well, with regards to Jesus, we just really appreciate you guys and being, supporters of Israel as Christians and stuff like that. We see Jesus, I said, well, how do you see Jesus? He's like a savior, not a savior or whatever to you are? She's like, no, we just thank you guys. We just see him as one of our Jewish boys. And I said, okay, I ain't trying to get no argument. We're rapping.
Right.
She then said, let me ask you this. She said, if I came to your house, or you come to my house, and you ask for, let's say, some milk, are you going to ask the son, or are you going to ask the father? I said, well, I'm going to have to ask the father because he daddy. That's how we see God in Jesus.
Yeah.
Point taken. So if you are the protege of somebody,
Yeah.
Right.
unless you got a whole long laundry list of stuff, you ain't getting more props than the joker that taught you.
Yeah.
Right.
Protocol.
You know
protocol.
what I'm
is
saying?
important.
One is respect. The
Yeah.
other thing is if the daddy did a whole lot of stuff, you gonna have to do a whole lot of stuff for me to say, well, hey, he colder than his daddy was.
Yeah.
Right.
And the stuff you got from your daddy. So that's my thing with Stern and Silver.
I get it. We do. But it's great conversation because
For sure.
it's a great highlight to say what these cats are doing and what they've done because, you know, I'm so happy that sports is on TV and the NBA has been in the forefront of showing the other leagues how to do it.
Yes.
Because football is like, I don't even know if I want to play.
Hey, major trouble.
Baseball is in major trouble.
Major trouble.
Yeah.
You know,
And
baseball
college
is like
football is, man, they on life support.
For
know,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with college football, they were well. Let me go back to basketball. They were talking about using Orlando for the Final Four the same way, putting the NC2A championship, not the final, the NC2A championship in the bubble.
Yeah.
Because they saw how well it worked.
Yeah.
But just like the NBA, Joker, do not be trying to go somewhere and get some wings. Going to Atlanta
Yeah.
to get some wings
Right.
and thinking
cheats.
ain't nobody.
Right. We ain't gonna
Come back
right.
to quarantine for what was it? 4 days,
Hey.
something like
I think
that.
he had 8 days.
Hey, you guys, y'all under quarantine in Milwaukee. And I see you guys all the time.
Out and about getting wings and things.
Skip, I see you. Hey,
Right.
see you. Hey, so y'all quit knocking the bubble.
Right.
Y'all, look, I don't know if y'all can do a week in the bubble.
Oh my goodness.
Man, the bubble is serious business.
Oh yeah, it's a major sacrifice.
It's major, man.
How do you think, though, with the effects of the bubble in terms of keeping players en masse from being exposed to the virus, what do you think about this recent edict that went out saying that, you know, players, families, and close friends can come in now? Is that going to compromise it at all?
No, because what's going to happen is part of the bubble is based on capacity. So when you send some of these teams and organizations away from the bubble, that's going to open up space.
Okay.
Where we can still operate at capacity, except instead of having the Phoenix Suns in here and New Orleans Pelicans in here, we have family members in here, and it's the same amount of people,
Right.
and we can handle it like that. The key thing with the bubble is everybody respecting what the protocol is, and if you can do that, you're gonna be fine. But it's difficult. I mean, it's hard.
I think there's a bigger issue than that. I think the bigger issue is them jokers not fighting off the court in the bubble.
You remember I said that. That would be my biggest problem with the bubble is that I got to look at Tim after he just whooped my butt out here in the courtyard.
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, and you getting chippy out there too?
Yeah.
You know, so listen, great show. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel right here, Joy 1340 AM 98.7 FM. Also, check us out on YouTube, Into His Course, as well as Facebook. Until next week, have an amazing week.